What is up? It's your boy, the Knologist, and we're going to talk about how to go deeper into the projects that you guys are building in any of your coding projects and programming in general. So, a lot of you guys might have come across this issue with courses online, and it is no one really goes to the depth. And the reality is, people don't want depth. People want to feel good. They want to feel like they're making progress. This is not a motivational speech by any means. What these courses are designed to do is they're designed to do one thing, and one thing only. Designed to make money off of you. And as long as they can keep you on this course kind of path, do this 100-hour course and you'll get this, do this 50-hour course and you'll get this. In reality, it doesn't really take 100 hours to learn a concept. It takes less than 20 in most cases. You can get most things done in less than 5 hours if you actually just find a good article and push through. This is what we call tutorial hell. So let me delete all this. This is called tutorial hell. This is fire. And then this is the student in the fire. Tut for tutorial. Alright, so this is called tutorial hell. You're burning in the fire of doing endless amounts of courses, right? Because these courses are designed just to keep you here and to keep you at beginner level. So when it actually gets time to go into deeper concepts, you get stuck because now you're reliant on these courses. You've built up a reliance because you spent hundreds of hours doing coursework. So now your mind is geared towards doing coursework in the fashion that these people are teaching it. So you're kind of stuck. And that's why a lot of people can't go to the depths with their projects. This is the understanding of why you can't go to the depth of your project. It's because you've been training your mind to do surface level content without going layers deep. So the next question is, how do we go layers deep? So let's look at this. And this actually kind of goes back to systems design a little bit, because systems design is pretty much the crux of what you're doing. You're not actually just writing code mindlessly. You're kind of going towards a system, and every kind of app is a system. It's not just one thing. It's not just front end. It's not just back end. It's all these little moving parts that come together. So let's clear this diagram again. And I'm a fantastic artist. So system. But we'll break this into parts, right? So we'll go into the 3-layer rule. 3-layer. This is just a rule I made up for myself. So 3-layer rule. What is that? So we want to go 3 layers deep. What does that mean? So basically you might have a project idea. It might be a to-do list. It might be a Pokemon app. So my very first app was a meme generator. So all you would do is take a meme, paste it on a front end, and then overlay some text. It wasn't anything crazy. So what I did after that was, okay, now that I have this meme generator, I kind of want to go deeper into this programming project that I've created. So I have a meme generator. What do I do next? So what do you do next is you want to think about what other parts of the system do I want to attack? What do I want to learn? Right? So the meme generator is purely front end on the page, text, right? So what other parts are there? So now we go and we look at the system. So we have our front end. So I'm going to draw a little screen, call this FE. This is just one layer. But I need to get to 3 layers. So this in itself is one whole project. And this is how you should approach your projects. Project, oh my God, I gotta get a tablet or some shit. This is fucking terrible. Okay, this is project number 1. Okay, this is by itself, if you've done this, you've built a project. Pat yourself on the back. You've done good. Okay, this is a starting point. It's not the end, but it is a starting point. This is good. Okay, now we want to go deeper. Okay, so 3 levels deep. Okay, so next thing. Okay, now I might want to save stuff. So let's think about what we want to do. So now we have pictures, or we have data, or we have something, and we want to save it. Right? We want to save it on screen first. Okay, so now we can look at state. What is state, right? And I go over this in some of my other videos. So state is basically, you have something on the screen and it changes. That's it. That's state. And what makes that stateful? What makes that stateful is once I have something on the screen and I change it, it stays this way, right? So I'm going to show you my website. I'm going to show you an example of what state is, all right? So let's go to theknologist.com. Fantastic website with my handsome face. Oh wait, I'm not even showing it. Fantastic website with my handsome face over here. Theknologist.com. And look, as you can see here, right now the screen is in dark mode. This is a state, right? Why? Because when you default land on a page, it has to look a certain way, right? It's in resting state, right? Now I want to affect the state of this page. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hit this light dark button. And it's as simple as that. That is state in a nutshell. Now the page holds state, right? I can go to another page. I can click around here and go here and go to the blog. And notice how the page stays in light mode, right? It's holding state. You're now holding state. So this is another feature you can add to your project. So now you've taken your project another level, right? And then I can change it back to dark mode. This is also stateful. I have a retractable bar, right? If I go and hit this, go back to skills, hit this and scroll, it stays like that until I hit it back. It's holding state. This button is holding state. So now let's go back to our diagram. And basically state is holding data. So now we take our regular page that doesn't save anything and we create state. So what can we look in for states? Hooks. We can look into backend, so databases, backend. Right? So that's on its own. So now we can take this and go to project 2. So we didn't do anything to this first project. We didn't discard the first project. All we're doing now is we're taking our existing project and then iterating on that project. So we're adding features to the project, okay? So now we can say this is front end, back end. This is project 2. You can hook up a database to this, right? So for example, let me just show you guys. We got pgadmin 4. And I personally like to use PostgreSQL just because it's very easy to set up. It's got this visual going on here, so you're not just looking at the terminal all the time. Code first. Let's see what other. Yeah, there. So this is one of my PokeRoster projects, and then you can go in here. And then you can see the database. So form builder, Pokemon roster. And then you can go to extensions, foreign data. Subscriptions. So let's see, what else is there? Form builder, schemas. Schemas. And then this is where the tables are hidden. So it's got two tables. It's got, and it's basically just a bunch of different things here that you could look at. So we got tables here, we got cache here. And then let's go to the Pokemon one real quick. I know this video is going to take time, but like things take time, right? Sometimes you have to just sit through a concept and look at it and then just understand what's going on and understand what you're doing. Then just go to view all rows. So now you can visually see data. So like, for example, there's Squirtle, Pikachu, Charmander, and what that was one of my old projects here. If I go back to the Canologist, there's a project called Poke Roster where you can select your top 6 favorite Pokemon, and then it would display in real time based on all the entries. You could just keep feeding it entries. It'll make an average of the top 3 most viewed. So that was basically what I did. And yeah, that's just iteration, right? So then, okay, now you have a second layer. So now you're 2 levels in. Right now you might want to add a login. So now you could go another way. Now you can add a login. We want to go layer 3, lucky number 3, right? You could add authentication. You can add cache, right? If you want to reduce latency. You can add what else can you add? You can add web integration, so third-party services like Stripe. So that will take you to project number 3. So front end, back end, and any of these of your choice could pretty much be it. And now you have project 3. We'll call this P2, P3. So now that we've kind of went through these concepts, you understand that, okay, maybe courses aren't the way, but you have inklings of things that are the way. So you have inklings of things that are the correct path. So let's say you do the course, you can make some makeshift front-end project like a to-do list or a weather app or anything of your choice, basically Pokédex or something like that. I like Pokemon. And basically now you just do what we did in these diagrams, and it's pretty much self-explanatory at that point. All you do is just iterate. So take something, add a little feature. It doesn't have to be big. It can be small, right? And then as you keep adding features, your project matures. Now you have some sort of living code base that touches a bunch of different things like the front end, the back end. You might have some cache, you might have some auth, you might have a login, you might have screen transitions like that light dark mode, right? And then once you get used to building that, when you build the next project, all those skills that you have here will transfer to that next project, because now you know and have experience in one thing, and then it'll become effortless. So as you keep building things and adding small features, you don't even have to build the whole thing, right? You don't have to do all this. You could pick one, right? You could just do front end, right? You can just do front end and a back end. That's 2 projects right there, right? 2 iterations, right? And then you could do something completely different for your next project. You could go straight to auth for your next project and go auth in database and a little bit of front end with some like ChatGPT code, right? So like, for example, I'll show you this real quick before we end. Where is it? Cybersecurity threat tracker app. So basically, I had to build a full stack app for this company during one of my interviews. And basically what I like to do as a strategy is I like to, if they give me a project and they're just like build this for us and it's just going to be a take-home project, what I do is I go step by step through the list. I go through all the items. I build out the project, right? And it's usually just a makeshift like front-end, back-end database kind of project. I then take that project and iterate on that further, right? Because I want to take this. I don't just want to do it for the company and like chuck it away, right? Like if I'm gonna put in time for this project, I want to get something out of it myself. So I'm gonna turn this into a portfolio project, and that's what I did here, right? It looks beautiful. DeepSeek, right? Notion Next.js. This is another one. LED diagram sketcher. That was from another company that asked me to draw this, like to code this out. This LED diagram drawer, right? This cybersecurity app, right? And basically for these apps, like for example, I had no idea. I've barely used PHP and Laravel, and they wanted me to use Laravel backend. I'm currently now pretty experienced with Laravel because I've been working with it at my current company. But when I first started, I had no idea how to use Laravel, and it's very, very intricate, right? You can do a bunch of different things. You can do SQL queries. You can do Laravel queries that tie into SQL, that tie into your front end, that tie into like jQuery and shit. And you can do a bunch of stuff with Laravel, right? And for this specific project, I did the front end. I did React. I did PostgreSQL because I knew how to do that. I did the auth because I kind of had an idea how to do JWT, right? But I didn't know how to do Laravel. So that begs the question, how did you do Laravel, ChatGPT? You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know everything, right? So that's just my experience for you guys, and maybe this might help someone. I just wanted to share that because sometimes these projects are overwhelming, and the mentality around these projects is I have to be able to do everything, and that's not true, right? That's not true at all, actually. You can just pick certain things. You can just build specific things. You can just build one thing and then iterate on it, right? And then as you keep doing more and more of these, you start to get a feel for your style, what you're good at, what frameworks you like to use. And then basically, like once I got, for example, I picked React as my first framework. Once I got used to using React, right, I can now experiment. Now that I'm comfortable with one framework, I can start experimenting with backend, right? So I'm used to React. I'm going to build the next app with React, and I use PostgreSQL in a lot of my apps. Okay, now I can use MySQL. Now I can use SQLite. Now I can use Firebase. Now I can use MongoDB, right? You're not limited now to one option because now you're comfortable with one side. So now you have the playroom to kind of experiment with another backend technology, right? And that's how you kind of learn. That's how you build this knowledge over time. You don't build it overnight. And that's why you build a bunch of these different projects. So let's go back one more time. So that's why you build a bunch of different projects. So we got Laravel, DeepSeek. So I put all these different technologies that I used. So for example, I used Postman to test endpoints for this one. I used Postman for this one. I didn't use Postman for this. But as you can see here, I used React for this. I used React for this. I used React for this. I used React for this, right? So you can see the common point and where I play with the different features. So I use PSQL in this one, PSQL in this one, right? For this, I use testing frameworks, Jest and Vitest, right? For this, I just use Python, right? For this, I just use JavaScript Express to run my server, right? And then this one, Chrome extension. So I just used vanilla JavaScript, HTML and CSS, and then leveraged the local storage and session storage, right? So look how many options you have, right? And all you have to do is just pick one framework, get kind of comfortable with it, and then just play with the other stuff. And now you have a bunch of different projects with different technologies, different features, and you're showing different skills, right? Your ability to adapt to different skills just because you were comfortable with one thing. And that's kind of the gist of how to go about your projects in the future. So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to hear your suggestions, any feedback. If you think I missed anything, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys, and maybe based on the feedback, I could do a follow-up if you guys have any questions. So with that, take care. Knologist out.